Hey, hello, good morning, how's it going? Although we're actually getting into afternoon now. We're just past noon. It is 12:29, so it's about time to try to pick some lunch, maybe, I think. Or maybe go get some lunch. Maybe I'll fix dinner. I don't know. We'll see. Decided to take a little break from working. I'm cleaning up the office downstairs a little bit because I have a crap ton of boxes, shipping boxes, out in my car that I really need to move into the house. So I was trying to clean up the office downstairs to make some room where I can bring those in. So yeah, that's fun. Trying to right now I have a big stack of Peerless AB like ceiling mount. We had a bunch when we redid our kitchen screens at all of our restaurants. I don't know, 3-4 years ago. They automatically sent us a bunch of these mounts, and they sent us more mounts than we needed. But we couldn't just like return them. That was just like part of the deal. They were auto shipped to us. We were charged, and there was nothing we could do with them. So we had them in storage for 2 years or so, and then as we were trying to consolidate storage and clean it up a little bit, the owner basically looked and said, "You know what? We can't get the money, the retail of what we were charged for this. We don't need them, so chuck them." And I said, "Well, I can't see chucking them. I mean, why don't you I'll take them. I'll see if I can list them, and we can sell them. We can get some money out of them." He's like, "All right, fine, you do that. But if you're gonna keep them, you're gonna store them, you're gonna do the listing and handle, if they ship, blah blah blah, then whatever you make off of them, you just keep it." I was like, "Okay." So I brought them here. Actually, it took me a while. They were still in storage for another, 5 or 6 months. And then I finally got around to packing them up, bringing them up. There was like 30 some of these things. Maybe more than that. And then, lo and behold, when we switched our provider companies, we went from SciComm, which handles all the like inventory, all the networking stuff, so inventory and sales and all that, and you know what I mean, all that stuff. We switched from SciComm to a company called PAR, and they have a different system, and it included having where each restaurant would have 2 screens for orders. So you have your drive-through, and then you have your front counter, or like DoorDash orders. So, again, you probably heard me talking about this in other videos. I've been going around and putting mounts up, doing screens. So it's a good thing that I didn't immediately sell those mounts, because we had mounts. We didn't have to go out and buy it. Well, needless to say, after doing all that, I've still got like 20 some of these mounts downstairs, and they were taking up too much room in the office. So right now they're sitting by my front door in a stack. I'm going to try to come up, make some room in the inventory room, which is just down the hallway upstairs, so I can bring them up and get them out of the way from the foyer downstairs. So that's what I've been doing, and that frees up enough room in the office to where I can get cleaned up in there. And before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to try to at least bring in the 2 stacks of boxes that I have sitting on my back seat, because I think next week I'm going to try to actually detail my car if it's warmer. Now, this weekend it's actually been a little chilly. We had a cold front come through and some storms, and it's only been in the 50s, which isn't terrible. But if I'm going to be out there spraying water and detailing the inside and outside of my car, I'd rather it be like in the 60s or even the 70s. So, but anyway, there we go. How's that for a monologue? That was kind of interesting, wasn't it? All right. As you saw from the title of this is going to be probably kind of a short video. I was going through and listing yesterday and then a little bit Friday night, listing some stuff that I had sitting down in the office that I was going to put on my eBay. Some of what you would have saw in a video where I went through and pulled some stuff out of this room that I was getting rid of. You might have remembered me showing this pack of Star Trek cards. And at first I thought about, well, you know, it might have some value. Not really. I've seen some of them listed, and they've only sold for like $2 or $3. I can't see going through the process of listing it, and then, you know, having to ship it and everything, and then, you know, the shipping would cost more than the actual what you're paying for the pack. I don't like doing it. Thought about bundling it with some stuff. And I thought, you know what? Let's just open it. Because I guess these Star Trek The Next Generation 25th anniversary cards, that there were two big inserts, holographic cards, that you could pull from these packs. And there's only two holographic cards. I don't know how they were, but I mean, they're, from what I understand, they're kind of comparable to, I guess you could kind of compare them to like case hits then. I don't know how many were in the case, but they're pretty rare. And those cards can actually sell by themselves for, you know, depending on condition, which these should be in good condition as long as the pack's not bricked, which it doesn't feel like it is. They should be in good condition, so anywhere from, you know, $10, $15 to $20, $25. If you got it graded and you got a PSA 10 or a CGC or whatever, more. I don't know whether I'll go that far. I'm actually looking at, and a lot of people who do cards are probably going to say, oh no, don't waste your time. You know what, I'm going to do it anyhow because it's cheaper. I'm kind of interested to see how it is. You know, here's the problem, I think. Here's the big problem with the grading companies. Is you got a few select grading companies that have been around for a very long time. So they've really established themselves. And they're kind of the go-to. Obviously, you know, the ones I just mentioned are a couple of the big ones. Beckett being another one. And I have nothing wrong with them. You know, they're all wonderful companies. But everybody kind of puts a premium on those as far as value when you get cards graded. And a lot of these other companies that have started as grading companies and have kind of a different way of doing it that's more geared towards collectors and not just the resale market, they can't get any traction because people won't give them a chance. Well, I want to do that. I saw one that's called Degree Grading. They have a very reasonable pricing. You know, one thing that I really liked that when I was reading about them, and I actually went so far as to Google them and make sure they were all legitimate and everything like that. They are. They're just an upstart company, so it's taken a while for them to get a foothold in the market. But the one thing they don't do is they don't upcharge. A lot of the bigger companies, they do that now. So if you send in say 2 cards, and the one card is just say like a basic insert, but it's say one of your favorite players. Okay? Even at say a PSA 10, if you're lucky, it might have a value of $15, $20. Then you send another card and it's an RPA, or it's something, you know, numbered out of 25 or something like, to where if you got a PSA 10, you know, it's going to be a couple $1,000, maybe even a $10,000 card. Well, with a lot of those bigger companies, you're going to get upcharged on your grading fee for that, because they want a cut of that potential value if you sell it. Degree Grading doesn't do that. From everything I've read, you get charged the same price for every card, regardless of what kind of card it is and what it grades at. Because, you know, they're making their money off of doing that as a service. Grading. Okay, they don't have any invested value in whether you then keep that card or whether you turn around and try to sell it or market it and, you know, make money off of it. I like that. To me, that is that's classy. Okay, because somebody like me that isn't doing cards full time and doesn't have a huge ass following, you know, a couple 100,000 people that are I'm getting eyes on, you know, I don't have the money if I want to send in a card to get graded and it ends up being, you know, potentially worth tens of thousands of dollars or even thousands of dollars. I don't have the money to turn around and pay that upcharge for them grading it. And then you're in the boat that if you don't have the money to pay that upcharge, you don't get your card back until you do. So I'm going to give degree grading a chance. They have a thing, I think, where it's like if you're a first time with them, your first submission, you can get 5 cards graded for $50. Okay, and I think on average it's like a 30 to 40 day turnaround time, which is fine. You know, I'm in no rush. But, you know, anyhow, that's what I'm going to do. Degree grading. And I've seen a couple other ones pop up. So I might give some of these other upstart companies a chance and see how they are. But anyway, let's open this. And then I want to show you a couple things, just a couple of small things I pulled off that I'm going to be listing here in a little bit to get rid of. See if we pull one of the holographic cards. If we don't, I'll probably still keep these cards. I don't have a lot of Star Trek stuff. Got a few little things. I was going to sell my Next Generation like Pez set. But again, it's one of those things that the shipping would end up being more than what I could actually sell it for. So I'll just keep it. Here we go. We have got Elementary Dear Data. Yeah, the original Star Trek and Next Generation are my two favorite Star Trek series. Like Voyager, I haven't even watched. What is it? There's like 5 or 6 different ones, right? Deep Space Nine I watched. It wasn't bad, but I didn't watch it enough to really where it would be elevated on the ones I like. This one is Exiles. That's a nice looking card. With the Captain and then Data. Jean-Luc Picard. Where Silence Has Lease. So there we got Jean-Luc Picard and what is it? Her name was what? Deanna Troi? Is that right? I always thought she was kind of fine, you know. Her and is it Beverly Crusher, the doctor, the redhead, right? Yeah, I got a weakness for redheads. They're my kryptonite. Diagnostic Bed. There we got Lieutenant Worf. I actually just listed a big Diamond Select Lieutenant Worf action figure in my eBay. I don't remember. I think I listed it for... I think it's under $10 is what I have it listed under. Maybe $9.99 or something. We'll always have Paris. Now I wonder if that was probably like on a holographic screen, right? Or did they actually end up in Paris this time? I mean, they go all over the place. No, here we go. Dr. Beverly Crusher position. Yeah, she was a beauty. Data lore. So there we got Beverly Crusher, and I can't remember. I know that was our son. I can't remember what his character's name was. We got Jonathan Frakes. Too Short a Season. I don't think I got any of the holograms. The Outrageous Taconia? Yeah, I don't know. Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton is well, that's the actor's name, right? Not the character name. He made a number of cameos on Big Bang Theory. I actually just found a little stack of Big Bang Theory trading cards that I had down there. I don't know why in the hell I was keeping them. Conspiracy. Yeah, I can't pronounce her name. Is that Whoopi Goldberg, right? Yeah, back in the day when she was a prominent actress, and she was at one time a very good comedian. These days on The View, you know, overall political affiliation, I don't care what you are, as long as you're respectful. You know, I don't care. I myself, I voted for Democrats, I voted for Republicans. I think for myself. I know that's weird. A lot of people don't do that. But she has just gone so off the rails with stuff. And half the stuff that she talks about, it's obvious she don't have a freaking clue what she's talking about. I mean, look, if you're going to criticize one side or the other, at least know what the hell you're talking about. That's all I'm saying. And the neutral zone. Alright, so there we go. So obviously the best card I think, whoop, dropped on, is the Beverly Crusher card. But that's just me because I like that actress. I think she's an absolutely. Well, I mean, I haven't seen her recently. I mean, I don't know what she's done in years since Next Generation. But I'm guessing she was probably in her 40s. I'm guessing. I mean, it might have been maybe late 30s. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I don't know what she's done since Next Generation. So we'll just stick these down here with some of the other. I got some OG Star Trek cards down there too. All right. Now I want to show just a couple of things I pulled out that I'm going to take down and get listed. The one thing I might bundle them all together. Of course, depending on what they're selling for, I might sell them separately. But the first thing we have a Mini-Mates Comic Book Men. So that'll be listed here a little bit later. And then we have, are these things called Doros? I want to say Doros, but that might be wrong. But I got 4 of them. They're just little, they're not even vinyl, they're just little like plastic. We got this brown one with like a bullseye on it. We've got a purple one. It looks blue on camera, but yeah, it's actually purple. With like green hair. We got this one with the heart. And then we got this one, which is the kind of like aqua sparkly one. So yeah, I have no idea if those have any value. We'll find out when I look them up, and I'll Google it. Use Mr. Google, and we'll find out. I don't think there's anything else right offhand I might get rid of. Actually, I might get rid of this. I don't know what this is from either. Yeah. Oh, I dropped it. Yeah, we'll get rid of this little figure too. Is that from like Street Fighter or something? I don't know what the hell that's from. That's why I use Google. But, alright, well there we go. Hey, I know. Not a very exciting video, but it's something. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the Star Trek cards. Are you a Trekkie? And if you are, what is either your favorite series or your favorite character, hands down? Let me know. As always, look out for yourself and everyone around you, so we have a much better chance of staying safe and healthy. Make sure you check out all my my sale sites down below: Mercari, Poshmark, whatnot, eBay. Be sure to check out the Old Treasure Isle on Facebook. I post on there on occasion, not a whole lot. It's just kind of like a place marker for my business name. But yeah, give me a follow on there. Till next time, which I don't know what the next time will be. It might be actually more stuff here, because I am going to go through stuff in here. I know there's more stuff that I'm going to let go of. So that might be what's next. Right. Until then, see ya.